Okay, someone had asked us to put together a video clip of how we actually work during the day. It's going to be a long, boring video clip, but I'll work on it for you. Right now, what I'm doing, and I'm not sure I'll be able to narrate throughout the whole thing, but right now all I'm doing is running my water to get the hot water to come out of the hose, because of course after sitting overnight it's not so bad, or not so warm that I can use it. And now I'm going to mix up my shampoo for the day in my shampoo system. Start my water in there. And I use straight hot water because it has to stay warm for a while. Plus there's still a little bit of water in there from yesterday. Measure out my product. And I'm going to go ahead and mix up a full tank because I have 10 dogs to do today. Only 10. Chris, hush. You're going to be first because I know how much you hate this process. It takes about a cup and a half of shampoo that I'm using to mix up a 14-gallon tank of product. So. We keep our measuring cups up here on the back of the tub just because it's easier. It's a good place to hang. And then I put about 1 ounce of Dawn, again, per 14-gallon tank, just for a little added boost. Probably don't need it, but I've been doing it for so long, it's just what I do. And now my room was taken apart yesterday, so let me put it back together. My little dog shelf and my air conditioner filters, because we run an air conditioner in this room when we're drying dogs to help speed up the drying. Oh, Chris, hush. Hush your fuss. We keep a basket here for towels on the floor next to the drying table. Put down my anti-fatigue mat in front of my tub. And now, while my water is still running, I'm going to go find my mat for my drying table. Well, I'm not very smart because the one that we put in there yesterday is still wet, so we'll get the one out of the closet. That's our backup. And here it is. It's just a microfiber memory foam pad. It helps absorb a little bit more. Put that on there. And then my table cover. The reason I use the table covers and the pads, honestly, is they help speed up drying so very much. It's not funny. The amount of time they save you is very, very, very well worth the money. It doesn't help that, or hurt that I make them, but Even if you had to buy them, they're not that much money, and the amount of time they're going to save you on the first couple of dogs will pay for itself. Oh, hush. Because we try to stay organized before we start grooming, we bring towels down and put them where we can easily reach them, usually right on top of the bathing system. And it is almost ready to go. And then I just have to put the nozzle tip back on it. This is my sprayer, my rinse nozzle. Alright, facial shampoo there. Apron for me. And I'm going to start off with Chris, who's over here being a little mouthy, because he's not a happy camper. He doesn't like to be kenneled up. He's one of my really old guys from home. He gets a bath every 2 weeks. I swear to you, when you see him, you may not believe me, but he does. He likes to go run in the street and get really filthy. But there you go. Shaving demos, and he's going to get wet shaved again. Not going to let it embarrass me or bother me in the slightest if he's a mess, because I know this dog is well loved. He sleeps in my recliner at home when I'm not there. When I am there, he's right at my feet below me. But he likes to go find the burn pile, dirt pile, where the feral cats in the neighborhood is gone and used the bathroom. He does all of that. So like I said, he gets a bath every week to 2 weeks, and he looks like this on a 2 or 3 day basis. He's just a really grungy dog. Now because my shampoo is diluted at such a high rate, it's not going to hurt their eyes. But that doesn't stop me from using a little bit of facial shampoo that we use, and we do use a baby shampoo. You are grungy today. Goodness. I know. That was just a real quick wash. Oh gosh. And the one thing that I like about this sprayer is I can control how high it sprays or how hard it's spraying, so I can get it down to just a trickle so I can rinse his face better without him freaking out. Turn it up to get the body. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to rinse it too well because he's fixing to get another bath, but I'm going to get the bulk of it off. Most of the dirt, most of the shampoo. concentrated or diluted shampoo to the dogs while they're dry, which of course allows them to degrease better and get cleaner faster. And because it's under pressure, it's actually washing away the dirt, the sebum, the skin, everything. Now, because he's my dog, and the next dog I'm going to do is also mine, I'm going to show you a little trick we can do because we have the two shelves. We have the tub down, or shelf down here and one up here. Because you're going to sit for just a minute to let that shampoo work its magic and make you smell better. I don't know what that is. I was afraid it was a flea for a minute, but it's not a flea. I don't know what it is. Something you got into in the yard. My dogs are all on Comfortus, but with all of my neighbor's stray cats, we have lots and lots and lots of fleas everywhere. I know, stop right there. Oh, he's about 11. He's getting on up there in age. And you, Spotty. Come here, Spot. Come here. Spot is one of my rescue dogs that I have just now, literally after she's been with me for 6 years, gotten to where she'll let me handle her. So while she is matted, it's not my fault. Seriously, up until a couple of months ago, I couldn't touch her. We'd always have to sedate her mildly to get her moved. All right, water hose, come on now, cooperate. Chris, stop. Get your butt back up there. If these were not my dogs, I would not do this, but they are mine. And we have been known to bathe two dogs in the same household in this way, where one is up top, let's say soaking in a medicated shampoo or a conditioner, and the other one is down there being rinsed off. I would never do it with two dogs that were not related, in a manner of speaking. And this little dog has come a long way in the last 6 months. 6 months ago, I would not have been able to do this. I mean, no way I could have done this 6 months ago. Now, she's always loved my husband, so my husband's always been able to do anything in the world to her, but I've never been able to. Like I said, about 6 months ago, she decided I was okay. Chris, hush. And what I'm going to do now is rinse both dogs, move him out into a cage to sit for a minute. Chris, stop. And move her down there. Start the process over. Stop. second time is to make them smell a little bit better. The shampoo has a better, and I'm going to use this term and I know it's not correct, it has a better sticking ability if it sits for a little while. If you just put it on and wash it off, the scent, stop choking yourself. The scent that's in the shampoo doesn't have a chance to stick to the hair, if you will. Stop. But if it sits for a minute, it can penetrate the hair shaft and actually linger after you dry the dog. Okay, we're coming to get you. Then, because all of my stuff is organized and is right here, I don't skimp on towel usage. It is not going to happen. I have a washer and dryer and I'm going to use it. So I might as well make use of my towels. I'm coming. I'm coming. For the record, he's been this way about a bath his entire life. He's always hated them. Doesn't like to be clean. It's funny how my rescue dog, who hates me, is being so much better than you're being. And she was quite literally a rescue. She had been living in a kennel out in someone's backyard, popping out a litter of puppies every time she came into heat. And when the owner of that kennel died, I got called out to help place dogs. She bit, I think, 5 people in the process of trying to just catch her. So I saved her butt from being euthanized because that's where she was headed. I had her spayed and went from there. I know, I'm 2 feet away, maybe 3, not much. I got the towel dried really well. He's now sitting on top of the towel. Now, goodness, listen to you over there rubbing your head and your body on that towel. I don't think this dog had ever been touched when we ended up moving her to our house. Oh, thank you. She just gave me a kiss. Like I said, about 6 months ago one day, she just decided, oh, she's not going to kill me, I'll be fine. And she's been my friend ever since. It's scary. I groomed her litter mate, who was actually a puppy sold back when they were babies, because this dog's about 10 years old also. I have an awful lot of old dogs at my house. Her litter mate has gotten worse over the last 6 months about being handled. And this one has gotten better. So I guess it's a trade-off. We're just going to take it and go with it. I don't live with the litter mate. I do live with this one. I only see the litter mate once a month, so I can put up with it. No, no, no. 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 Back to the tub. There you go. I prefer to do my rinsing in the lower part of the tub than on the upper, but the upper part's great for lathering. And how cool this tub really is and how easy it makes bathing a dog. This tub has a few tricks up its sleeve, if you will. And now, same thing with her. 2 towels. Hush, you goofy dog. Top shelf so you can reach it better. Oh gosh, does that feel good? Does that feel good? The trick to doing multiple dogs efficiently and fast, though, is to do several like this. Bathe them real fast. Put them up in the kennel, wrapped in a towel or sitting on a towel to air dry some. And then work on them in stages. I usually wash 3 or 4 dogs at once, and then go either wet shave or dry or whatever I have to do to them. Get them dry and then do a few more. Then I start finishing them. That's exactly what's going to happen today. I'm going to bathe 4, which I've already done 2, and I have the 3rd one in the tub. I'm going to either wet shave them or dry them, depending on what their needs are. And then I'm going to do 3 or 4 more. Now, if I had a helper, that person would be either bathing or drying or wet shaving or whatever needed to be done. But because I'm working by myself today, and I do have 10 dogs that I want to get done, I think there are 8 grooms, including a standard poodle, and 2 baths. You're not as dirty as the other guys are. You're matted, but you're not as dirty. Knocking everything down today. I'm not used to this tub yet. It's fairly new to us. We've only had it in since Monday. And we're still trying to figure out how best to hold the hose and the shampoo applicator and stuff like that. This dog was nowhere near as dirty as the other 2 that I just did. though I think he's more badly matted in places, he's got severe allergies, and this time of year he really starts to show them. Towel drying a little more. Spread the towel out in the bottom of the cage for him. And I'm going to go get flour. I'll be right back. Okay, and we have Flour. Flour, as you can see, is in really good shape. Flour's not a bad dog at all. Flour's cute. And again, about 11. She's old. I'm telling you, I have so many old dogs that are both clients and my own personal dogs. It's kind of scary. Okay, babe. Always find a couple of fleas on her. I live in the flea capital, USA, and my neighbor has a propensity to feed all of the neighborhood cats. Feral, strays, ones people have put out because they know she'll feed them. So I almost always have fleas. At least a couple on everybody, and especially on the ones that can't take the Comfortas, and she can't. It upsets her stomach so badly that she can't do it. However, the shampoo I'm using got this wonderful little thing in it that is a natural silicones, and add that to the fact that I am applying it to the dog without wetting it first. And her fleas will be dead by the time I'm done with what else I'm doing. Now, because I am fixing to have to move to let her sit for a minute to kill those fleas, what I'm going to do, these are not set up because we did break the tub down. We did break the shop down yesterday. Normally I'd leave her in the tub, but I've got some other stuff I want to do right now. So I'm going to take her and put her over there in a cage, which I'll show you guys in just a minute what we've done. Okay. For those of you who don't know, any shampoo applied to a dry dog will kill fleas. And if it has Panthenol or any of the natural silicones in it, it will also kill fleas faster because that coats the gills of the flea and dissolves a little bit of grease bubble that's around it. The flea can't breathe, the flea dies. Okay, now let me show you what I've done over here. I'm going to turn it slowly. We have my cage bank, and we have Flour sitting all the way on the end, soaking on a grate with a towel underneath it. Minnie hasn't had a bath yet. Then to the left we have Chris. We have Scrappy on the end. And up at the top, I have spotty girls sitting, waiting on me. They all have towels in their cages, and they're all three about to get wet shaved. Minnie, you're just going to have to sit there and wait for a minute while I work on the other dog. All right, now, to make this easier on me, I'm going to wet shave on one of my drying tables, which I have 2 drying tables, and we're going to use one for drying and one for wet shaving. I'll be right back. Okay, I have a table cover for this table as well. Not because there's anything wrong with my table cover, but this is a waterproof one, and it makes cleanup from wet shaving just a little bit easier. And this is an electric table that we have mounted the electric controls here on the side. So putting the cover on protects that. The waterproof cover makes it really easy for cleanup. You simply pull the cover off, dump it in your trash, put it back on, and go again. As long as you're in the same family, you can also wipe it down with a cleaner and use it again, or wash it. Either way works. All right, Chris, you were the first one to pull up. You're going to be the first one to get done. Come here. Cordless clipper, 7F blade. He's been sitting for a little bit, so he's not completely wet. And I've had to do a lot more walking than I would normally do. Normally, first thing in the morning, I get both tables set up, I get my tubs ready. But this is a Sunday morning, and I'm just not set up for work yet. This is my Oster Volt clipper. It's perfect for this type of clipping because it is cordless, completely safe to use on a wet dog, whether it's in the tub or not, even though you know I always say never wet shave a dog in the tub. And yes, he is very dry. He's very close to being dry because he has got such thin hair that you can still see the hair is just sort of falling right off. I have half the dog done already. Oh, grunt, grunt, groan, groan, you're sad. As dirty as he was to begin with, I could not imagine putting a blade on him. It would have killed the blade. But again, because all of these guys are related, namely they all live in the same house, I'm not as worried about sanitation as I would be if they didn't. If they were individual dogs from different families, I would of course change my table cover out. But because they're not all from different families, they are all from the same household, it's not going to be a problem. I mean, anything any of them have that's contagious, trust me, they all have. If they had a contagious skin disease, they'd all have them. If they had mites, they'd all have them. If they had fleas, they'd all have them. But see, I'm multitasking right now. I'm wet shaving one, while 3 more are sitting, one of whom is soaking. So while she is soaking, I can do something else, and I'm not wasting my time waiting on her to soak. Now, if I were to book appointments like some of you do, one at a time, or one family at a time, I would not be anywhere near as efficient as I am right now. Nowhere near. Notice though how the waterproof cover just allows the hair to sort of slide over to the side and get out of my way. It's not stuck to the table, it's not stuck to me. Okay. Now, because of how my bathing room is set up, I'm going to reach over the camera, hopefully you can see it. I have a drying table literally right there, which is where I'm just going to put Chris. And yes, for those of you who are from up north, I did just say fix him to. It's a southern thing. That means I'm going to, or I'm about to. That towel's the one I use to dry my arms on. I'm not going to turn on a force dryer on him. I don't see any reason to because he's almost dry. Besides that, he hates this whole concept. His body is essentially dry. I mean, there's nothing wet on him. By the time I get his head dried, he will be dry. It's because he has such thin hair. And if you would quit choking yourself, you would not be coughing. Put your head up off the damn noose. There you go. And yes, I just swore at my dog. Because he is being a goofy dog today. He is a serious mixed breed. He is a Bichon Schnauzer mix. Total oops. And one of the best dogs I've ever owned. He is smart. The only thing I don't like about him is the fact that he will be dirty again by evening. Oh, that didn't hurt. Alright, now, his beard is probably going to be just a little bit wet when I put him up. Oh, please. I didn't hurt you. See? By the time I get to finish him, the beard will be dry. And now I'm going to go put him out in the front room so he can sit and wait on me to get done. Now, back over to this table. The drying table surface, the hair would have stuck to. It doesn't stick to this. It can't. It's nylon that's been waterproof. My hair's in the trash can. And I'm fixing to get me a spotty girl. Wallflower sits just a little bit more. I know, old girl. Okay. She's nowhere near as dry as Chris because Chris had more hair. I mean, less hair because he's just thinner by nature. However, this one hates a dryer. So, this is one of those cases where I'm not even going to attempt to cage dry or to blow her out or stand dry her. I'm simply going to put her in the back under a fan and let her dry. Just a regular box fan, blowing into a wire cage with her sitting on a towel, and she'll be dry probably 5 to 10 minutes at the most, just because she's, number one, she's really clean, and number two, she's been shaved. If you only knew how much of a miracle this is. The last time I groomed her, I couldn't believe that I was actually grooming this dog because she was so horrible for me up until that point. and did it without any sedation, not a Benadryl, nothing. In the summer, we shave her with a 10 blade. In the winter, I try to keep her done with a 7. Just because. Now, just for the record, this dog thinks that the world revolves around my husband. She had a male owner previous to us getting her, and if anybody ever touched her, it was him. Nobody else ever did. So this is just humongously huge. I mean, there is no other way to describe it. This is huge. Like I said, she's a lot wetter than he is, and I also have to be really careful, because like I said, I think she had 10 litters of puppies. So we have to be really careful underneath that we don't nick her or scratch her in any way. Goodness! Alright, old girl. Alright. And then, just to help her speed up a little bit on the drying, I'm going to step to my towel stack, grab the one I used to dry my hands with, if you want to speed up your drying anywhere, be it cage drying, table drying, hand drying, towel dry the heck out of a dog. I have always taught my staff to towel dry, I call it towel drying to death. You want it as dry as you can get it, and if that means using 3 or 4 towels, then it means using 3 or 4 towels. Now, the other trick here on her, being that she is going to cage dry, because like I said, she absolutely hates having a dryer put on her, is to comb the hair the way I want it to go. So in other words, on her face, I want it to kind of come up and down, down there, forward here, ears down. I realize there are still some knots in it, but I'll get those out later. On her back, brush it down. Legs, again, just run a brush. It doesn't take much. Just run the brush to get the hair going the direction that you want it to go. Okay? And I'll be back. Okay, and cleanup time. Again, super easy because of the table cover. Because I'm telling you, this hair does stick to the top of tables. Doesn't stick to this. Hair's in the trash. And now, back over to the tub. We're about 45 minutes into this, and I have wet shaved 2 dogs, bathed 4, dried 1. And I'm totally unorganized. I was so not ready to do all of this. Like I said, I had to put my tub together, I had to put my tables together, had to mix up shampoo. Typical day at work, right? Flour loves everything. But the fleas that I did see are now dead, and her hair is really squeaky because it sat there on the stove for so long. You know the fleas are dead when they're washing off into the bottom of the tub. That's always a good sign. And I do have Frontline for her now. We have decided to go ahead and try that on her because we know that the Comfortis doesn't work with her. See if it won't help keep some of the fleas off. Frontline by itself is not working down here hardly at all. Everybody who says their dog is on Frontline has at least some fleas when they come in. But we're going to have to try something. Because even the couple of fleas I saw on her are way too many. I would prefer we had none on anybody. And now, because I have another dog to bathe, I actually have several more dogs to bathe, but I have one more that's in this room right now to bathe. She is going to get to do the same thing the others did. Sit up for a few minutes. Towels in my laundry hamper. This is bath number 5. And my next bath is going to be something interesting because did I just hear somebody at my door? I guess not. I thought I heard somebody knocking on the door. It is locked, but needs to have a medicated bath. So, after I wet shave him, I'll give him a medicated bath, put him in a cage that says while I wet shave this one, and dry flowers. Multitasking. Again, it's not something you can do if you're only bringing in 1 or 2 dogs at a time. why we can get so many dogs done in my shop in a day is because we multitask. Right now, I have one dog ready to finish. I have a dog drying in a cage. I have a dog being bathed. I have a dog waiting on me to wet shave it. And I have a dog waiting to be dried. A dog that is waiting to be dried can air dry while it's long enough for me to do a couple of small things, 10-15 minutes at the most, and you cut off an awful lot of time. And please notice that nobody is stressed, nobody is freaking out, nobody is having a hard time. If they were, I would be calming down my speed drastically, talking to them more, paying more, but they're not, and this is the way most of my clients are. One thing I have found is that sometimes the more you baby talk a dog, and the more you act like it's going to be a problem, the more it is a problem. Minnie, stop. Stop. Dogs appreciate, especially if it's something that they don't like, they really appreciate getting it done. Get in, get done, get out. By spending 30 minutes or more on a bath, they don't understand why it's taking so long, and if they don't like it to begin with, they really don't like it by the time you're done with them. Get them in, get them bathed, and again, there's no reason why a bath should take more than 5-10 minutes on most dogs. And I say most dogs because I do have a standard poodle that I'm going to bathe on tape in a minute, that she might take me longer than, let's say, this little one here. All right, here we go again. We've had so much rain lately that my dogs have not been getting bathed like they should because it doesn't do any good. They get bathed, it rains, they go out, they get wet, they get matted. So I've sort of been waiting until the weather broke. They actually were predicting rain today, but so far I'm seeing nothing out there but blue sunny skies waiting on me. All right, babe. You sit right there. Okay, that's 5 baths, 1 completely dry, 1 in the dryer, fixing to wet shave number 3. This time of year with this dog, people pull his hair out. There's something blooming that doesn't agree with him, and it happens every year at the same time of year. So like I said, after I'm done wet shaving him, he's going to get a medicated bath. Literally pulls his skin out, his hair out by the root this time of year. Goodness, Nanny. Goodness. I don't know what she's doing. She's sitting in a cage and she's going nuts. And I'm going to use Microtech on him because it will help soothe itching. It doesn't really, he doesn't really have a skin condition other than the itching. I mean, there's no lesions, there's nothing. It's simply allergies with him. And it's not food allergies, he's been tested. It's some kind of external grass or something blooming across the street in the pecan orchard. Something is getting to him, and it does it, like I said, every year right around Easter. And then once we get his skin cleared up, it doesn't come back again until next year, right around Easter. And now see how fast that was? And because it was so fast, definitely saved me some time. And this would shave your tail so that you can chew at your tail. Will make the medicated shampoo so much easier to get to the skin and sit. It's worth the time spent to do this. Spot's telling me she thinks she's dry. Blade needs oiling. So it's the Slendy blade. No. And there we go. Well, that was really brilliant. I didn't have the camera on him, but there he is. He's all done. This is what happens when you try to record stuff and work at the same time. Stuff gets all discombobulated. Okay. And what I do when I do a medicated bath, I don't put it on straight. I put whatever amount of shampoo I think I'm going to need in a bucket. Stop. Dilute it with enough water to cover the dog, or the area of the dog, because if he doesn't get an entire medicated bath, it doesn't matter so much. Smells good. It smells clean, and it will soothe his skin just a little bit. And like I said, he doesn't need one all over. He just really needs it on his back and his legs where he's been chewing the most. And now we all know any soothing or medicated bath needs to sit for between 5 and 10 minutes minimum to allow the medication to do its job. So, whoops, sorry bud. He just looked at me like I was crazy. And now, into a soaking cage. Again, same cage, wire grip, towel in the bottom. Wash your hands off. before I start drying it off. Okay. And now I'm trying to decide, do I blow flour out or do I wet shave the other one? Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and blow flour out. We are right at 62 minutes, so I've been working for an hour. I have 3 dogs wet shaved and in the process of drying or soaking in medicated shampoo. 1 dog I'm fixing to dry, and another dog bathed and ready to prep. Alright, Miss Flower. Come on. Good girl. Now, I don't know if you can see how wet the towel is, but it's really very, very wet. My whole room is less than 10 feet across, so when I step across, I'm really stepping, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 or 8 feet to get to a cage. Again, this is the towel I've been drying my hands off on. Hey, baby girl. All right. It'll go in the hamper next. My Davis dryer with the water stripper by Romani. It fits in the hose. Put it on with a clamp. We're good to go. She doesn't mind the dryer on her head. She doesn't really mind much of anything. We are going to trim her toenails while she's standing here on this table because I want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, the absorbent bath mat that's underneath this flannel cover soaks the water up off her feet. She wasn't really wet, but if you had a really wet dog, it would be a lot wetter than it is now, obviously. The quilt behind the wall is there for a reason. A couple of reasons. First of all, it catches water off the dogs and keeps it from splashing back onto them. It also keeps your wall clean, so you have less cleanup to have to do. Okay, I know we have nail clippers. You hear about people using towels behind the dog to catch hair or to catch water, and they're holding them like this and blowing. Don't have to with a quilt. It can come down every afternoon and be washed. It can come down every week and be washed. Whatever. You don't have to clean the wall every night when you're done bathing dogs. It just makes sense. I have mine hanging on a curtain rod with little ring hooks so it can be taken down and washed really easily and come right back up, no problem. The water stripper nozzle helps remove hair faster, or water faster from the hair. I am really not sure why it works so much better than a comb, except for the fact that it dissipates your air over a wider surface. But it definitely does dry the dogs faster. I've also noticed with the water stripper or the wide canine nozzle that the air gets warmer. I don't understand it. I just know that it is what I know that's what I've discovered. Okay, and Miss Flower's going to go out front and play with Toby after I pick up my water hose again. Okay, so Flower is finished because all she was getting today was a bath and her feet done. I got water all over my clothes on the floor, so I'll throw my hand towel down on the floor for right now. All right, Miss Minnie, you're next. So we'll put the camera back over there. I have no idea why this is so crooked. There we go. That might make it easier to watch. We've been at this 67 minutes. I have about 12 more minutes I can record before I have to stop and do something else with an SD card. But I should be at the finishing point by then, I would think. She is related to the one who is soaking in a medicated bath right now. And she has the same kind of problems he does with this time of year. She pulls her hair out by the roots. Her skin is nowhere near as inflamed as his, so I don't see the point in a medicated bath. They also, for the record, are half Chinese crested. So as a result, they have very weird hair. And in places they have no hair. Their father was actually a hairless custard. So you do start to see the hairless influence on them sometimes. She, for example, doesn't really grow hair on her legs. And like through in here, it's always bald. There is no hair there. There just is no hair. You see how fast that was? Getting all that nasty off? That was pretty cool. So as not to irritate her skin any further than it's already irritated, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera, she has hair here. She has hair in front. From here back, she doesn't. It's just the way her hair grows. Okay, because her skin is irritated though, and she's been chewing really badly, I am not going to dry her either. I'm going to go put her back there with Spotty Girl and let Spotty Girl and her entertain each other. But, same thing, I'm going to brush the little feet down, because that's what I want them to do. Brush her tail out. because it'll also pull out the matted hair that's ready to come out, which it's all coming out. She's going to get a shaved face, so I don't really worry about what the face does, but there we go. Okay, let me go put her up, and then I will come back and rinse Scrappy, get him dry. Hey, you. Hush. Okay, and when I get him rinsed off and dried, I'm going to show you the back room where you can see how I do cage dry my dogs. When I have to, because you have heard me rail against heated cage dryers, and I want to show you how we have our setup. There are times when it doesn't make sense to hand dry or force dry a dog. Sensitive skin, dogs who just don't like it, dogs who are most of the way dry and just need the faces done. There's a lot of reasons why having a cage dryer can be beneficial. And I want to point out too, if I were working with a helper, even one helper, the dogs in the back wouldn't be there. And all of these dogs would be done, but I'm doing it all by myself today because that's what I was asked to show, how to do it all by yourself. Okay, Scrappy Diddle. We're having drain issues. The plumber did not plumb my tub incorrectly, so we're having to work with it to make it drain. That was just the tub telling me it's at its maximum height. Weird sound. I don't know what that sound is. You saw the look? I'm trying to figure out what that sound is. I think it's just the sound of the tub draining. Let me step behind here real quick. I think that's all it is. I don't see anything else out there. Alright, and he's not going to sit. He's going to come straight from the tub to the table. I only have about 4 minutes before this is going to cut off. Yep, that's all it was the tub draining. I feel better now. The sound has quit. But again, towel, towel, towel dry. Towel dried to death. Okay, give me the towel. Thank you. He is 90% dry. And again, his face is not completely dry. I would say his legs are not completely dry down towards the feet. But we comb the hair the way we want it to lay. And grab a towel, because the cage I'm fixing to go put you in the back doesn't have one in it. Come on. And I'll be right back. And we're going to run out of time before I can show you my dryer cages, so I'll put that onto the next one. See you in a little bit. Okay, time to start finishing everybody. Now, as you remember, Flower is done because we finished her in the back room because all she was getting was her toenails and her bath. So she's done, and she's down there on the floor saying, Mommy, can we go home? And I'm going to get Chris first, because he was the first one we did. Now I have roughly an hour and 20 minutes of prep on 5 dogs, one finished. Now let's see how fast we can get this done. My clock is showing 10 minutes till 11 right now. Because he was wet shaved, finishing him up is going to be a real piece of cake. Not really liking how your coat's working here, bud, because what I'm getting is all these wispy hairs running away from my clipper. So, what I'm going to do is switch to my back system. It'll hold the hair up and make it easier to catch. As I said in the back when we were working on him originally, he has really odd hair. I don't know how to describe it. It's some of the silkiest and finest hair I've ever seen on a dog. Almost like baby hair, human baby hair. So there's his pads. Oh yeah, much easier to do. I mean, if you didn't have a vac, you could always maybe go for the 4 backwards, because I did prep it with a 7. You could probably get away with a 4 backwards, and it would smooth it out and make it a lot easier to do. You apparently missed a mat under that there, but okay. Not cold, dropping everything. The little red wall snap-on is just about the equivalent of a 7. Now this room's a little more organized than the other room is as well. So I don't have all the prep time that I had in the other room. getting my shampoo mixed up, getting my tables put together, putting my air conditioning filter back on so I could turn it on if I needed it, which I didn't. I will need it for my next episode this afternoon though, because you're going to get to watch me bathe and dry and groom a standard poodle as well today, just for time comparisons. Now that's going to be so boring for most of you, I'll probably either do it double time on the film or edit some of it out. But she will also sit like they did for a while, probably with a box fan on her, while I bathe my smaller poodle and prep her. And then get back to finish drying her. And it won't affect my finish whatsoever on her. Forgot I moved my box over here. Alright, buddy, come here. Chris, honey. He's stubborn. Now he has an ear infection in his ear and it is being treated, which is why I didn't flush it in the tub like I normally would have done. It's the time of year, and I know I've said that all morning long, but it's just the spring here in South Georgia. Everything is blooming and everything is causing itchy, yucky, horrible skin and ears. Okay. I'm not hurting you. I know the ear hurts, so we're not going to go real close. We're going to be real careful. And I know what a lot of you are thinking is, but these dogs are all shave downs. Well, yeah, but we see a lot of those in our shops. At least most of us do. And honestly, I know people who take an hour just to cut the hair off of a dog this size before they can even bathe him. So this is to show you that even matted dogs don't have to take forever. That ear is not getting any better, bed. We're going to have to go back to the bed. Alright, we should probably cut your toenails before I try to scissor your feet, huh? That's 1 foot. You see this foot? Can you put the other one down? Thank you. And that's Violet barking right now. She's out back playing. She's ready to come in, I think. We did get one a little too short, didn't we, bud? We can fix that. Such a good boy, he didn't even holler. Let's see. Good boy. Okay, let me see the back feet. Just catch a little bit of hair that the clipper vac missed and the places that it's hard to get to. Finish number 1, 9 minutes roughly. That's why it won't close. The zipper was in the way. Okay, and even though they're my guys, I still clean up my table in between. And I am going to use the baby wipe to do it with. Especially because I have quick stop on the table. So that's 2 dogs finished, and let me go get Spotty. Okay, and here's Spotty Girl. Again, humongous. Cannot believe she's letting me touch her. You just don't know. Alright. Let's see if we can get you done today. It's almost like a light bulb went off and she said, oh, she feeds me. She's good. It's crazy. Like I said in the back, she was on her way to euthanasia. Several of the breeders' dogs had to be euthanized. She was one of the ones headed that way. And I brought her home with me to have it done. And the day it was time to take her and have it done, 2 or 3, we had to hold her in quarantine because she had bitten people for 10 days. And the day it was the day to have her and another dog euthanized, she decided to lick my hand. And my husband saw it and said, you're not taking her. So I told him he would be responsible for taking care of her if we took her home. Because she wouldn't come to me. She licked my hand, but she wouldn't come to me. And he did. He's done really, really well with her. But the last few months, she's decided that I'm okay. Which means she won't have to get mad at anymore because I won't feel like I'm stressing her out or scaring her by trying to get her groomed. I always felt like it was a bad thing for her because she hated it so badly and had to be sedated. So we would let her get more of a mess than most of my dogs would ever think about getting and then get her done. Not a big fan of sedation on anything that doesn't have to be done, and a haircut can wait. Chris, hush. Dogs that have to be sedated for grooming, I don't expect to see every 4 to 6 weeks. I expect more along the lines of 6 months. Because I don't like to do sedation unless absolutely needed for surgery of some sort. Or a vet visit. fast. I'm just moving really deliberately and in a very determined fashion. And I have a plan. If you'll notice, both dogs, I did pads, bellies, butts, and then started working on the body. And what I tend to do, I have this really strange pattern of working. I didn't do it on Chris because I had the vac system on. But what I generally speaking do is I do the body and the back legs. And then I do nails on back feet. And then my scissor work on the back feet and legs. Just a little bit of hair that the clippers can't get. And round off the feet. I keep hitting nails with these scissors. That's a good thing they're not an expensive pair, huh? And then I guess I just feel like I've accomplished something because the dog is most of it done at this point. She is never going to be really, really smooth underneath because of all the nipples hanging down. Like I said, she must have had 10 litters of puppies. And yes, she's a mixed breed. She is actually a schnoodle. So she's a Schnauzer Poodle mix. She was being bred to both Schnauzers to get 3/4 Schnauzers and to Poodles to get 3/4 Poodles. Why, I don't know. However, I will tell you that her poodles, the puppies when she was bred to a poodle, looked so much like poodles that they could have been sold as poodles. The only difference was that they had tails because the breeder didn't dock them. And believe it or not, the last litter of puppies she was actually nursing when he died. And they were 6, 8 weeks old, but she was still nursing them. And they were all white dogs. So go figure how genetics works. I'm not 100% sure I understand how they work. Now I have my windows open in here, which I don't normally do. I have them open right now for added light for the video camera. Just because this room has not got the best lighting in it. It can be very hard to see in here sometimes. Spotty girl. And yeah, I'm going to go so far as to say I don't know where she got her name from. She has a white spot on her chest, but stop. Spotty girl is what name she had when we got her. Thank you. It's actually getting a little warm in this room, so when I go back out to put her away, I'm going to turn the air conditioner on some. I don't like to groom in the heat. Not at all. When I start to get to where hair is sticking to me, I'm done working. It's not a tick. I thought maybe it was a tick. And I have never seen ticks at my house, so I was beginning to get mildly freaked out. The reason my fingers are right there, her ear leather is really close to where I'm wanting to cut hair off. And there are mats on the bottom of that ear. I don't see any reason to get them out if I'm going to cut the ear hair shorter. But I don't want to cut the ear. So my fingers are right along the edge of the ear leather. And I know that I can do it this way. And not risk cutting the ear. Just get the hair, which was my goal. Okay, little girl. Stop, stop. Okay. That was about 11 minutes without the vacuum. Okay. And I'm going to go get Minnie. Okay. My dogs want to come inside. As soon as I get you done, I'm going to let them in. I'm going to use the vac on her. Stop. And she gets finished up with a 9 blade, by the way. Usually I leave Clydesdale or Crested Feet, but today, because she doesn't have much hair, I'm just going to take it all off. And we do her that short not because we have to, but because she just doesn't have hair in places that she should. And we groom her more like a, I guess you'd call it a Chinese crested trim of sorts. Like a pet, like you would do if you had a hairy hairless or something along those lines. Even though on those, if they were for my clients, I would be going backwards with a 10. I don't do that on her because she's not all Chinese crested, just part. Now underneath there I do backwards just because it's smoother. Stop, Minnie. Now when I am done with these 5, which will not be too much longer, because this was number 4, believe it or not, this is number 4. When I am done with these 5, I am going to go get myself some lunch. And then I'm going to come back and groom a toy poodle and a standard poodle. On camera. The toy poodle is a 4 all over with clean feet and clean face. And the standard is a 5 or a snap-on comb in the back with bracelets. Clean feet, clean face. Lest you think the only reason I'm so fast today is because I am doing shave downs. You'll see. You'll see. Switch this to a 10. The hose from the back is hitting my arm where I burned it 2 weeks ago today, cooking dinner. So I'm going to put it down in just a minute because it is absolutely rubbing right where my arm is burned. Irritating that burn quite a bit. When I'm done with her, I am going to pause it for just a minute and go put my dogs in too, because they are raising heck outside. And now I say that they've stopped, but I'm still going to pause the video for a few minutes. And go bring my Cocker Spaniels from outside in the backyard where they've been playing all day. I don't ever shave her pads out, but what I did just do right there, if you noticed, was I scissored them flush. And I have a couple of toenails bleeding. One looks like. And yes, I just licked my finger and stuck it in the Quick Stop. The reason for that is Quick Stop works better when it's wet. It activates the styptic action faster when it's wet. Usually I would use an applicator, but finger works too. Like a Q-tip or a first aid applicator. But like I said, fingertip works too. Just don't lick the same finger twice. It's not fun. Quick stop in the mouth, not so good. Goodness! Come here, baby girl. That's Spotty barking. She has a funny bark. It's very hoarse. Okay. And my dogs have now quit barking, so no reason to go get them. I'm going to go put her up and get Scrappy Diddle. Yes, I call him Scrappy Doo, Scrappy Diddle, all kinds of names. Okay, so I took a couple of minutes to check my email too while I was out there. Alright, back on. I don't have a place to hang it, so I end up laying it on the floor. But again, I have a pattern. I do pads. He has got a knee that gives him fits. It's not bad enough for surgery, but I have to be really careful with his back knee. So, there we go. And then I do around the butt. Belly. Red snap-on comb, again, almost a 7. Okay, good. Stop. If I don't see some improvement in his skin in the next couple of days, I'll take him to the vet and get another shot for itching, but I really hate to do that. And like I said, usually about Easter, his skin goes to heck in a handbasket, and then it gets better. So hopefully, the medicated bath that I gave him, the Microtech bath, will help a lot. That already looks like it pulled out a lot of the redness that was there. And yes, underneath with a snap-on, I tend to get backwards. And up in that area, I'm very careful. I don't know if you saw what I did, but I hold the leg up and I go that way on the underarm. Never go straight at it because you'll cut them, but you can go down like this and then from underneath out. Because even with this snap-on comb, the teeth are spread far enough apart. Little bits of skin like that could get inside and be cut. Can you back up? Thank you. Now he has some mats between his toes. I'm going to show you what I do with those. When I get to it, I'm almost there. Corners of the eyes. Yeah, I have a penchant for this little kind of face on my own dogs. They're easy to clean, they're easy to groom, and they're cute on top of it all. So yeah, all my dogs are basically getting the same face, just in different lengths. Except Flower. Because Flower didn't need a haircut. She will soon, but she doesn't yet. Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm using my blade to skim the hair on the edge of the ear. Just to pull some more off. And behind it as well. You can can do that with or without a vat. It doesn't really matter. Now, for the mats between the toes, I'm just going to scoop them out with a blade. I'm not going to do poodle feet, but I am going to scoop the mats out. Just like that. Yes, his feet are going to look horrible because they're going to have holes in them, but it's better than pulling on toe mats, which are not fun to pull out of a dog, and I really prefer to never remove them that way. Alright, vacuum off. Currently my shop is short-handed, which is not helping me get my own dogs groomed. I'm having to do them on a Sunday in order to get them done, because there is no way I could ever get them done during the week up here. We're too busy. Yesterday, for example, we did 26 dogs. So squeezing in even one of mine would have just not made any sense. And the reason why I am grooming the 2 client dogs today on a Sunday is because they're boarding and they didn't get done yesterday. And honestly, we may come up here tomorrow with some more dogs and get some more done from my house. I have several more that need to be done. I could do them at home, but I wouldn't ever get them done at home. If I bring them to work, I get them done. I have a self-inflicted rule. If they come to work, they get groomed before they go home. So if they don't get groomed the day I bring them, they have to stay overnight. And I don't really like having to do that. Not to them, not for me. Not at all. Okay, Scrappy Diddle. What you doing? He says, I don't want to give no kisses. It's okay, you don't have to. But there we have it. 5 dogs, 4 of whom were matted, 4 of whom were grooms. I've been at this table right now for 40 minutes, and before that the video is 1 hour and 20 minutes. So 2 hours, 5 dogs, matted, medicated baths, 1 with fleas. 120 minutes divided by 5 dogs is 24 minutes per dog, if my math is right. That's 120 minutes. Not too bad. Not too bad. Next up, Aggie the Standard and Sophie the Toy.